Can I ask something about Michael? Do you mind?
Sure, yeah, it's okay.
About the oxygen tank?
Listen, they say he has it at home. I haven't seen it yet, so
Okay,
I don't know about that oxygen tank.
Now, there's one brother you have been compared to most of all, and that is, of course, Michael. What's he really like, I guess, is the big question.
He's an introvert, very quiet, shy.
We read a lot here in Australia about things such as his cosmetic surgery, the fact that he wishes to buy John Merrick, the Elephant Man's bones, and also the fact that he has an oxygen tent so that he can go into that each day so they can live longer. Any of those stories true?
They take everything to the extreme. When you have a star such as he, they make it much bigger than what it is. As far as all of that, I don't see anything wrong with anything that he's done.
He's not strange at all. They try to, make like he's in his own world. He knows nothing of what's going on around him. I mean, it's totally untrue. And he's not strange at all. He's very shy, and very quiet, and a lot of people, they perceive that in the wrong way. They take that the wrong way.
Michael is, if we believe what we've read, he's still very close to you. I mean, what guidance has he given you through your career? Has he been there as like a sounding board?
Sure, he gives me lots of advice, and we talk on the phone a lot of encouragement, and teaches me all the time. And to be careful, certain things. My whole family.
He's had a difficult time over the years with the press and all that sort of stuff. What have you learnt from that in terms of building an image?
It's the bad that comes along with the good, which is the success. And everyone has to deal with it. It's not all so glamorous like everyone does think it is. It was just a ton of bricks that were just lifted off my shoulders after he did the Oprah interview. I was really happy, very proud of him. I felt that the public got a chance to see that he's human, he's not crazy. A lot of people were saying that he was gay. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, because I have a lot of gay friends, but that he's not. That he isn't trying to be something that he's not. He's not trying to deny his race, and that he's proud of who he is and what he stands for, and about his disease, which I knew, and I knew that my mother knew, but that was it. I promised I would never tell, ever, anyone. I never even told my other brothers and sisters. I didn't know if they knew or not. And so many times I just want to say, you don't understand. And I wish I could tell them, but that's so personal. That's his business, and only he can do that, and he didn't give any interviews. What makes it so difficult for me is I'm the one in the family that does, I think probably, if not the only one, but does the majority of the interviews, does the most interviews, I should say. So I'm the one that gets kind of bombarded with all the questions about the family.
I wanted to ask you about Michael. Tell me your position, your take on the whole thing. Has it been stressful for you? How do you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been stressful for the entire family, but I can't imagine it's nowhere near the stress that I'm sure he's going through, obviously. But, I mean, he's completely innocent. I think it's just a bunch of BS. It's very stupid. It's just very ignorant what's going on, really. I stop watching the news. I kind of separate myself at times, and I have to, or else I'll go crazy, and I'm trying to do this at the same time. And there's a lot of, not to sound selfish, but there's a lot of things that have to be done every day with the tour. At the same time, try to keep up with everything that's going on in my family is kind of difficult.
Michael paid the father of the boy millions. Some people take that as an admission of guilt. But according to Janet, Michael was trying to say,
Look, leave me alone. I'm sick of your crap. You're after money. You've said it here. Get out of my life. Now, if this really went on, do you think a father would accept money? That would make it okay? That would make everything all right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I know that if that were my son, I'm sorry. I don't care if you gave me $1 billion. I want to see you either behind bars or dead for the rest of your life.
One of her other concerns has been the way her brother has been treated since the 1993 accusations of child molestation. Proclaiming his innocence from day one, she has always been one of his staunchest supporters.
I know that you've spoken about your hurt and anger, that people chastise him, that they talk about him being abnormal, this, that, and the other. How painful is that for you, to pick up a tabloid, a newspaper, and every 5 minutes he's in there?
It's very disturbing. I always say that if you're given the chance to sit down one-on-one and talk with him, he's just such an amazing individual.
He's just an amazing person. He's incredible. He really is. I'm not saying that just because he's my brother, because if he were an idiot, I'd say I'm not happy with him. Exactly, just like I did my sister.
I think they try to make my family out to be this incredibly dysfunctional family, and it's disturbing because my family's no different than any other family. The only difference is that they're on television, or you see their faces in the paper, or you listen to their music on the radio. That's the only difference.
Janet's recently recorded a duet with him and says there's a friendly rivalry.
I love him dearly. I really do. And I think he's the greatest there is, greatest of all time. I mean, it was wonderful working together because we've never sang together before until this song.
And was it nice for you to support him in that way? Because History was a big album for him, let's face it, wasn't it? It was getting rid of a lot of skeletons from his closet.
Yeah, and he talked about a lot of things that was just so upsetting for him that had happened, and he needs to get that off his chest. And that's basically what Scream was about. He said, well, you know, with all the things that have gone on in my life, he says, I just want to release some of that anger. And I've always been the supportive, I feel, sister. Whenever something's funky or there's a tabloid saying this crap or this crap, I've always been the one to try and support him or anyone in my family as much as possible when it comes to that. It's really hard with the media. It is. I mean, they do try to define you and take things into their own hands. The one I love the most is when they paste things together and leave other things out, and it makes for a whole nother story. A lot of times you have to set things straight by going on television and saying, I didn't say this, this is what I said.
What do you think when people always do this to you, always mention Michael or bring him in?
Well, it all depends on in what ways they do. I think some people try to be very shady and do it in a very shady way. That's not very pleasant.
Michael, of the ever-changing face, the odd behavior. So what about the question everybody's always asking? Does she think her brother is weird?
Do you feel you really know what his life is now?
Do I feel his life? I feel parts of his life, I can say that. I feel the childhood that he missed out on, only because I did as well.
The constant surgery that seems to be going on, the changing his skin colour, that kind of stuff.
I don't like when people say that, the changing of the skin color. Well, no, because he truly has a vitiligo, and it's actually in my family. Okay. He's not the only person in my family who actually has it.
But he seemed to me like he's a man who needs help. I'll be honest with you. There seem to be signs there that you would have to be pretty far removed from reality yourself not to see those signs here, that here's a human being who needs help.
You know, I wish he would allow people to really get to know him the way that his family knows him. And he is the warmest, most down-to-earth person, the silliest person, loves to have a great deal of fun, and he's just truly like everyone else. And I think it's more of the media that has made him out to be something that he really isn't.
And this is obviously a difficult period for the entire family with Michael's problems, isn't it?
Yes, but we're not going to get into that.
No. But you mentioned getting strength from your mother earlier.
Yes.
And I would think that now more than ever, this is quite a time for the family to rally and show support and strength generally for one another. Is that how it's worked?
Yes, we've always done that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And are you in contact with your brother? Do you talk to him?
Which one?
Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what kind of things do you discuss?
Things that brothers and sisters talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about that now?
About what?
About Michael's legal circumstances.
I can't talk about that. I'm not allowed to.
It must be a difficult thing.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing. Yeah.
How has this whole affair affected you? How do you feel when you read all this?
Me. Mm-hmm. I don't really read it that much anymore because it's all BS. And it bothers me, because he's my brother and I love him. They'll continue. They have nothing better to do. Nothing better to do. It helps them to focus, take the focus off of their own lives and the drama that goes on into it. I mean, it's tough. It's very tough, but we're a tough family, and we're very strong. And our heritage alone is very strong as a people, and we've overcome other obstacles, and this is just another obstacle that we will definitely overcome.
That trial, how did that take its toll on you?
It took its toll on my entire family.
Really?
It was hard on all of us.
And so were you worried about what did you think was the worst that could have happened?
Well, he would be
sentenced to jail.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Or to prison, actually. Yes.
How much did the trial of Michael bring your family together? Because, you know, one of the things that I noticed when I watched the coverage of that was you'd see you and you'd see the other family members there. Was it a unifying event in some ways? It was a troubling event, but was it a unifying event?
I think when you have events like that, it always brings any family closer together. And it for sure did ours. I mean, we're close to begin with, but it definitely made it a much tighter unit. We had each other's back. But later on in life, certain things that he was going through, I tried to be there for him as much as I could. His little sister who was there, who had his back.
When you released Demita Joe, it was a couple of years ago, the sales were not Janet Jackson type numbers. How much of that do you think was the fallout from the fact it came out kind of in the middle of Michael's trial for child molestation and the whole Super Bowl thing that you don't want to talk about?
I truly don't know. It was still a platinum album. But, you know, it's so funny how it's just because which is success. I don't know. I can't say. I really can't say.
You know this business, music business, as well as anyone. Can Michael come back and achieve the same kind of popularity music-wise that he once had?
Why not? He's incredibly talented. That's all you need.
You don't think the public may have a different opinion now?
Why not? He's incredibly talented.
That's all you need. I get the message, Janet.
They inspired me, all of my brothers. And my brother Michael and I, we were the closest growing up. Yeah, I definitely looked up to him, and I love the way he dances still today. I think he is one of the greatest entertainers of all times, and definitely the greatest entertainer of our time. And I'm not saying that because he's my brother, because even if he weren't related to me, I'd say that he truly is.